Okay, so this is another test using the Xbox Screen Capture gaming thing, which is, I imagine gaming on this PC would be probably the most excruciating thing ever. But I'm going to show you how to do the After Effects piece in simple terms. So what we're going to do is, firstly, I'm going to import my footage, and it should be called copy of 2D track footage. We're going to drop that into a composition, but first we're just going to have a look at some things so we can see that it is 1920 by 1080 and it's 25 frames a second and it's H.264. This is all good. I'm going to drop that into a composition. That's all a bit tight here. I'm used to working on iMac. Oh, I miss you, iMac. And we are going to do some tracking. So what we have here is we have the tracker, and the tracker is in one of these little menus here. If you don't see it, go to Window and Tracker, and that will update it. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a simple track, but I want to explain what each of these do. So the first one we have is Stabilize Motion. What that does is it will grab a point, say the skull, and it will always try and keep that centered. And it's pretty good at it, but the edge of the screen here will kind of leave and enter the frame, and so it looks a little bit awkward. So I don't use it very much. Warp Stabilizer does the same thing, but then it will scale up the side of the image to fit so that it looks as if it's rock solid. The thing with stabilization, you've got to make sure everything's stable to begin with, so if you are trying to stabilize something, kind of be aware of that. So get rubbish in, you get rubbish out. That's the general theme of stabilizing anything or audio capture. The next thing is we have track motion and track camera. We'll get on to track camera, but track motion is what we're going to be doing first. So what we're going to do is we're going to look through our footage. We're going to play it forward, and you can see it's me wandering around my living room, as you know well. And but another side of it you haven't seen. And what we're going to do is I'm going to track something, and I'm going to put a graphic kind of on the wall there. And there's the school bell. So I'm going to create a graphic first of all. So just create a new comp and make this 25 frames a second. And then I'm going to call this graphics. Okay. And in this one I'm just going to create some really simple graphics. So I'm going to create a square, and this one is, I'm going to make sure it has no fill, so rather than having that, I have no fill, and then you can change the design or whatever you want it to be. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write something in the middle. I'm a man true to my word. So I did write something in the middle, and this is going to be my graphic. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm going to shut the comp. Mainly because I'm working on the smallest screen in the history of the world, and I am going to run out of space. So I'm going to take this graphics and I'm going to drop it in, and that's going to be the thing that we're going to stick on the wall. But I'm going to hide it for now. Next thing I'm going to do is start tracking. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to find the tracker, and I'm going to do track motion. So what's going to happen is it's going to go out of the composition, which is here, and go into the layer. And this is the actual video, and it will, I don't know why it does that, maybe it will change it in a release at some point in the future, but it does it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a bit in this first 3 seconds that doesn't move out of the frame too much. So I'm going to pick like the corner of that photo that looks, or that poster that looks about right. And I'm going to take this track point, and we're going to talk about the track point a little bit. So the track point is made up of 3 bits. Well, 4 bits if you count the label, but let's not, because that would be stupid. It's got the middle bit, that's what you're tracking. So that's the center point of your track. So I'm going to move this up. It's going to be a bit awkward, but I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to put it onto the corner of this poster. And then it has a square there, a little inner square, and this is the pattern it's looking for. So it's looking for this pattern. So it's looking for this black shape and this little white surrounding shape. And then the outer bit here is the search area. So the search area is how big an area will look for that pattern. The bigger it is, the longer it will take. And that's essentially what it does. So now that we've established kind of what we're searching for and how big a search area we're going to do, we're going to start our track. So down here you have an analyze thing, go forward frame by frame, but we're going to just press play, and I'm going to track for about 3 seconds. And yes, so you're going to have to watch this progress bar. And who isn't the weather terrible? And are you going anywhere on your holidays this year? No, you're not, because we're all grounded. So this is going to stop in a little minute. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to stop it there so it doesn't leave the frame. And you can see that it's kind of this track. It's created all of these points, okay, and it's tracked it. It hasn't applied it to our graphics, but it has tracked it, and this is what it's done. It's created a lot of X and Y points, and that's great. So I'm going to edit the target. The target is going to be what we're going to put all of this onto. I'm going to edit it, and what I'm going to put it onto is the layer called graphics. I'm going to press OK, and then I'm going to apply. And now it's going to apply X and Y. So what has it done? Well, if we open up our graphics thing, and we open up our layer, we can see it's got now a lot of transform data. What it has done is it has kind of measured where that is, and then it has applied an X and Y transform onto this. It hasn't done anything else, just a transform. So what does that mean? Has it actually tracked that object? Well, no, it hasn't. It's tracked a pattern. It's tracked where that pattern is. If we press play by using the preview, wherever that may be, it has gone and disappeared, and it might be underneath this thing, and I don't know how to move that. There is some way of doing it, but I don't know how to do it. So I'm going to go to preview, and I'm going to press play, and you can see that it's tracking until it stops tracking. And it's got a noise on it, which is really annoying, so I'm going to turn that off. So you can see that it's tracked it really well. It's absolutely nailed on, at least for the first 3 seconds or so, but there is a little bit of a problem, and the problem is that the camera moves, and because the camera moves, the object, although it looks like it is stuck to there, it looks like it's stuck to there, but it's kind of like facing the camera all the time. And that's because it's a 2D object, and it is not moving in any way, shape or form. Also, there goes the bell again. I mean, I'm moving around with the camera, and I'm kind of walking up and down, and my steps are being tracked. And when will the bell stop? It will not. It's also kind of, it's accurate, but it's not fooling anyone at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to go into my image again, and I'm going to delete this tracker, and I'm going to bring in graphics again. I'm going to bring in graphics 2. I'm going to rename it, so you can rename layers. Did you know that? Probably did not. And I am going to now track this, but I'm going to track it in a fancier way. So I'm going to go to tracker. I'm going to select my footage. I'm just going to turn off that layer so I can see what the heck I'm doing. I'm going to go track motion, and this time, so I've got this one, and that's great. It's going to track this. That's exactly what we did before, a nice big search area. But what I want to do instead is I want to do rotation. So it will have track point 2. This one, I'm going to press spacebar to move along, and I'm going to put this on the corner of the other poster. Well, hot dog. And so that's going to go there. And now what it's going to do is when I go to, I'm going to make sure I zero this out because it hasn't tracked anything yet. I'm going to put it there. And now what it's going to do is going to track both of them at the same time. And it's also going to remember this angle. And this angle is the rotation. So I'm going to go and analyze it again. So go down here, press analyze forward. I'm going to go to about 3 seconds. My computer at home would have done this by now, but this computer is just about powerful enough to run a torch. So it's taking a little bit of time to do something really simple, and it's getting there. Well, I'm going to wait till about 3 seconds. That could be quite some time. Yeah, so it's not exactly breaking the world land speed record with this particular piece of motion tracking, but it got all the way to 6, which is pretty good because it just had some kind of weird issue, but let's not worry about it. So there we go, we've done the track. It's got to about there and then it stopped. Okay, so this is pretty good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit target again, and I'm going to apply it to graphics 2 this time, goes 2, comes off to 1. I'm going to press apply, X and Y again, but again it's doing 2 different places. Find graphics 2, which is a bit big, I know, and I'll just change the scale of that a little bit. And now when we go through our footage, we can see that it is more accurate. So when we press play on our preview, where is preview? It's hiding. It's just up there. Let's play. We can see that we got a very good track, and it is more realistic because it is sticking to the wall and it is matching the rotation of the camera. Because what we're doing is we're tracking this. We're not tracking the camera, we're tracking this object. And that's kind of all I want you to do for now. I'm going to put this on Manage Back so that we don't have to do the whole dual kind of screencasting at the same time thing, and this should work out better. Okay, so I'm going to stop my recording. I'm going to see if it worked, because you never can tell, and because I'm using a game capturing device which is built into Windows. If you didn't know it, it is Windows G, and you can record all of your screens. So, okay, so I'm going to post this onto Manage Back, and I will see you on Friday.